How's it going, everybody? Ragaroth here. So I wanted to do another Mortal Kombat 12 related video. This is a video that could either be made very irrelevant soon, depending on when Mortal Kombat 12 actually gets announced at this point. I feel like it can be any day, or at least maybe next month. I don't know at this point. But regardless, before I get started, I wanted to say thank you to everyone that viewed and commented and liked, even disliked, one of my more recent videos where I talked about why Mortal Kombat 12 needs a less safe and less grounded roster. First of all, it's like the first video in a while that I've had that has actually done very well in views and comments and likes and everything. And I also, just appreciate a lot of people that actually feel the same way I did. I wasn't 100% sure if that's really how a lot of the community felt. And it was a topic I was very passionate about. So thank you all to that, and especially if you subscribed, thank you so much. That's actually what kind of inspired me to make this video, because again, this video could be made very irrelevant soon with how close Mortal Kombat 12 is close to being announced, hopefully. But it also depends if this character even makes it in the game or not, which I'm pretty confident they will. And that character I'm mainly talking about is Smoke.
Where there is smoke, there is fire.
Now, Smoke is one of my favorite characters in Mortal Kombat. Probably further solidified after Mortal Kombat 9, just due to his design, his moveset, his gameplay, and just his overall personality and story. Now, our boy Smoke has unfortunately missed the last couple games. I mean, you can make an argument he was Mortal Kombat X with Triborg. That's a whole other debate. But just the actual character, Thomas Verbata, has not made the last couple games. At least playable, as he was also in the MKX story. But yeah. And the reason I'm doing this video for him is because, well, first of all, I am very confident he's going to be in the game. I think it's just time. He's pretty requested. And I think that at worst, he's going to be DLC. And maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe he's not in the game at all. I mean, they don't treat him the best. I think they do treat him a little bit better than Rain, though, for what it's worth. And some 3D era characters. But I think he's going to be in the game. The question is how he's going to be in the game. And the reason I say that is because Smoke has had many forms and versions over the years. He's a very unique character in this regard. He has been a human ninja, a cyborg, something kind of in between, a human again, then a revenant or a demon, and then kind of a cyborg again. He's been a human and a cyborg in the original trilogy, and then he became he was sort of both in Deception, or I think some people call him Nano Smoke. And then, he was a human for the entirety of Mortal Kombat 9. And in place, Sub-Zero became the cyborg instead. And then he was killed in Mortal Kombat 9 and came back as Revenant, where he introduced himself as Inenra, which we've recently found out that Inenra is the type of demon that is basically in him that gives him his powers. As a child, he was used as a host for the Inenra, and that's how he gets those powers. Now, what version do I think will be in Mortal Kombat 12? So I think there's two possible scenarios. Now, if the case is where the game does primarily take place during the Great Kung Lao era, this would be the less ideal scenario, and Smoke is kind of one of their characters why I kind of don't want the game to only take place during that era, because we couldn't really get him. Technically, we could, though. It just may not be ideal. It's not ideal for me. It's probably won't be ideal for a lot of people. And I know the Mortal Kombat fan base does not like compromises, but hear me out. So I think if it was just Great Kung Lao era, so Tomas Verbata obviously wouldn't be alive yet, unless they retcon that, which again, people probably wouldn't be happy about that. But regardless, let's say there's another character that they use for the host of the Inenra, and this character gets Smoke's similar abilities. Maybe they take on some of the appearance. They get like white hair. Maybe their outfit is mostly gray and black. Maybe they're a ninja. Maybe they're not. I don't know. Or maybe they're just a more demonic creature looking character like the Inenra. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing, I guess. And they'd either be called Inenra, maybe Smoke if that's a title like Sub-Zero, or they would just be called their actual name. I'm not really sure. Again, I don't think that'd be ideal, but I think it would be, in my opinion, it'd be better than no Smoke at all. Now, the more ideal scenario, let's say the game, maybe it just part of it takes place in the Great Kung Lao era, which I think is more likely. Like part of it will take place in the Great Kung Lao era, then it does a big time skip. So we get Smoke back, we get our boy Tomas Verbata back. Now what I think is going to happen is he's in the game, and when he's revealed, hopefully he actually gets a reveal trailer this time, unlike Mortal Kombat 9. He is marketed primarily as being a cyborg. But here's the caveat: he does have human skins as well. But he will mainly be marketed as being a cyborg. And then so there's two ways they go about this. If they're smart, when he's revealed, they'll also show during the gameplay trailer like some gameplay of him in like human ninja skins. Or if they want to do something more risky but something that can maybe pay off better, they just primarily market him as a cyborg. Then we get our hands on the game. We go through the story. He actually starts off the game as a human and then turns into a cyborg. And we actually can unlock those human ninja skins as well. Kind of like what they did with Cyrax and Sector in Mortal Kombat 9, basically, where we only know they're a cyborg, but then when we actually get to go through the story, we actually see them earlier in the story as humans. Now remember, their default, in Mortal Kombat games, the NetherRealm games, their default outfit isn't always the outfit they have in the beginning of the story. Sometimes what do they have later in the story? Smoke is actually a perfect example of that. In MK9, his default outfit is what he has in the Mortal Kombat 3 part of the story. But his alternate, his more traditional ninja-looking outfit, is what he has earlier in the story in the Mortal Kombat 2 portion when we actually play as him. Same with the Cyrax and Sector. We see them as human first in the story, but they're primarily marketed in their default outfits as the cyborgs. So, there. I mean, either way, I think it would definitely be more hype. At first, if we got, we saw that he can get human skins as well, but there would definitely be a certain level of excitement from the old Mortal Kombat days, where if we found out after we get the game that he has human ninja skins as well. Now, me personally, I love Smoke regardless, but I'm more of a human Smoke person. Again, Mortal Kombat 9 definitely solidified this, and I was happy to play as the Triborg variation of him in Mortal Kombat X, but it definitely wasn't as exciting. I was just overall very, very unhappy with that Combat Pack 2 in general, but that was one of the more bright spots of it. And I will main Smoke regardless if he's human or cyborg, but I will definitely be more happy if he at least has human skins. And ideally, this would be the case because it would please everybody, honestly. If we just had, it would please the people that like human Smoke and cyborg Smoke. And I think it would just be some good cyborg representation, because that's another reason why I think they'd be focusing more on cyborg Smoke, at least for initial marketing and default outfit, is just because so they can get some cyborg representation in the game. They at least want to have one cyborg, it seems like, in the games. I personally think they should have all three. I love all three of the characters, but for some reason they seem to kind of not be treating them that well these days. We got some cyborg representation in MKX. We got some with Frost in Mortal Kombat 11. I think this would be if we can only have one in the base roster, I think this would be the overall best way to go about it, because I think Smoke you can bring in the fans of him that like the ninja form and the cyborg form. With Cyrax and Sector, most people are probably going to say they like the cyborg forms more. They're just more iconic. They stand out more as them. Not that they shouldn't have human Cyrax and Sector. That was a really cool idea. And now, one thing to note with them is with Cyrax and Sector, they had the same moves in their human versions, but the animations and appearances of some of their weapons and stuff were a little different. So I'm thinking with Smoke, the cool thing is with MKX Cyborg Smoke is that he basically had the same moves as human Smoke. The main difference, they added some new combos and all. The main difference is he had kind of a reference to the harpoon trident that Cyborg Smoke or even human Smoke had in the old games, which I actually think was kind of cool. The way they did it and kind of differentiated it from Scorpion's spear was actually really cool. What they could do here is either it would be a move unique to Cyborg Smoke and then human Smoke is something different. Or maybe in the human version, Smoke could maybe kind of make tridents out of smoke or something like that, or maybe even use a chain sickle or something like that. I've seen some people suggest that idea, and it would be really cool, actually.
So there's a couple things supporting why I think Cyborg Smoke will at least be kind of the main Smoke in the game. One of them is, and unfortunately you're going to have to take my word for this, during one of Ed Boon's Q&A things on Twitter, one person asked which version of Smoke he likes better, cyborg or human, and Ed actually had said cyborg. So now, obviously, this shouldn't mean that much, but as we've seen in the past, NetherRealm Studios does tend to have a bias towards characters that they prefer. Special Forces. Another thing is, with Mortal Kombat Onslaught, there was a leak of characters in the game, and 3 of the characters were Reptile, Tanya, and Cyber Smoke. They just have placeholder models, basically, right now. And this is suggesting to me, since they don't have models yet, that they're waiting until these characters are announced for Mortal Kombat 12, and that's how they'll look in the game. I also think it's very interesting that he's deliberately called Cyber Smoke and not just Smoke. Now, another thing to mention here, this theory might have a hole in it because recently Tanya was shown, and she just has a Mortal Kombat X design. So this could have deconfirmed Tanya, or perhaps that her MKX design is an alternate in Mortal Kombat 12. And I'm not saying this would deconfirm Smoke, no. If anything, it would maybe deconfirm Cyber Smoke. But then another thing is, with Tanya, if that's her alternate outfit, this could actually potentially suggest the opposite of what I'm thinking, is that maybe Human Smoke will be the default one, but he will have a Cyborg alternate. Or maybe it just means Cyborg Smoke won't be in it, just Human. But until, we actually see Smoke in that game, for now we can't say that it's potentially meaning that Cyber Smoke will be in Mortal Kombat 12, and that his design in this will be how he looks in that.
But yeah, that's what I'm predicting. I'm predicting new character with smoke powers, if just Great Kung Lao. Primarily Cyborg Smoke, but with human skins, human ninja skins, whatever you want to call them, if it's Great Kung Lao and then kind of modern timeline. And it would be cool to kind of see skins that are like the MK9 default outfit, the Shaolin Monk's outfit. That's actually very cool smoke design that we never see. And then, I like the Cyborg Smoke where it's like black with the red eyes, but we should definitely have a more classic Cyborg skin, especially with like a purple color swap as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I don't know how many more videos I'm going to do like this. I think Smoke is just a really fun character to speculate, and he's a character I'm really passionate about. It's hard to do this for someone like Havoc, where he's really only been one version of him. Yeah, I digress. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, what you would like to see Smoke be like in Mortal Kombat 12, or what do you think he'll be like. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you dislike it. Definitely consider subscribing if you like this video and some of my others. It would really help the channel out a lot. But thank you so much for checking out the video, and as I always say, another time, another place, keep being awesome.